What's up, guys? I want to talk about a movie that I am just super blank and stoked on watching. It is Primetime by A24. If you do not know what this is, you probably heard the original story about Dateline To Catch a Predator. If you're a millennial, you already know what this is. If you're Gen Z or if a little bit younger, you definitely heard about this, but you probably see people do this on social media all the time. You're probably more familiar with the multi-million-dollar man, Gideon.
Waste your DA's time. I am a multi-millionaire. I promise you, I can take this as far as you want.
You got Skeeter Gene.
Here you say, by the way, you must be a time traveler because I can definitely see you in my future.
You're stupid.
I know you're white, but really, nigga?
I found those on a stupid app.
It's just...
Also, these dudes still going out and doing banger lines from Chris from like 20 years ago.
What about when you said my would break your crotch? What do you mean by that?
Did you say you are ready to have my fang in your mouth? What do you mean by that?
Are you ready to have my in your mouth?
This is the OG Pred Catcher. Was it? I've heard some names like the Pred Slayer, Chris Hansen. Shout out to Mr. Gigi. This is a show that I have been obsessed with for most of my life. And two, there was just a big resurgence of this show back in like 2018, 2019, if I remember correctly. Everyone was covering this. But around like COVID, for some reason, I would watch this show all the time. Throughout the entire day, listening to investigations, and for some reason, I would listen to it going to bed. I don't know why. This was weirdly my comfort show, and it's really fucked me up in the head because I quote it on a daily basis. It's a problem, and my wife and I do it back and forth all the time. And whenever the number 13, shout out Stephen Benoff.
Brandon said he was 13.
13?
I say it all the time, even out of context, if that number just pops up. It's an issue. It's really fucking weird. Also, especially, there's a YouTuber named Walls. Shout out to him. He could take like a 4 or 5 minute segment that's on YouTube, and he could take it and stretch it out to 30 to 40 minutes, if not an hour, of content of him just laughing and talking about the Predator, the Sting, what he likes.
I fucking love that. Yeah, I fucking love that. I do that all the fucking time too. Like, I'll call out to my cats, for instance, because I can't do this to people because they'll be like, whoa, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? But I do it to my cats. Like, if I'm yelling out to my cats, instead of saying their names, I'll just go,
just weird shit. But also shout out to him for putting up the trash man as his profile picture. Amazing stuff.
It's my character. I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage.
Now, I have a few theories about the movie, what it's going to be about, what it's really going to focus on, and also why they chose the name Primetime. It's just going to be a guess, all from my perspective. And also, if you didn't know, the original show was not called To Catch a Predator. It was called Dangerous Web. Also didn't have police in the first 2 investigations. Third one, they brought police in, and I think that also brought viewers all the way up. And yeah, let's talk about it. So yeah, A24 is producing this movie, and they got Robert Pattinson. This dude has been on a stroll. Also, if you go to all the comments down below, people are just like, yo, this dude just keeps doing banger after banger and banger of a movie. And it's crazy to see this guy since I was a kid. Back in like Twilight days, I was like in middle school. I think I started 6th grade. It was just weird. Just one day, every girl had that book. And yeah, he was just all over the place as that pale ass vampire. Those movies, I did see it as an adult, and I watched every single one. And I will say, if you are a weed smoker, it is one of the funniest fucking series you would ever watch. Trust me. I mean, laugh to tears. This is a movie recreating the entire sting operation that Chris Hansen did with Perverted Justice. I see certain shots of people. This chick with short black hair, I'm sure that's Dell. Big fat dude, I'm sure that's Frag. These are people from Perverted Justice. These are the people who went in and they actually had the conversations. They did the photos with the Predators. They were the ones that Dateline paid them, I think, $100,000 per episode to do a sting with them. So, like, yeah, I believe that they're gonna go in like the Prey prey versus the predator, but it's going to be like this duality where it's more like the news station is also the predator in a way. I already know it's going to lead to the Texas Murphy sting, which actually had a district attorney ended up offing himself because he was caught in the sting, but he didn't show up to the house at all. They actually showed up to his house and they brought the entire SWAT team, and the dude just offed himself in his own office in his house. Sister also sued for like $100 million. They settled out to court. There's a whole thing. Google it. There's YouTube videos about it. I believe that they're going to show that also like the newscasting is really bad and how they try to play up the fear angle of like, don't let your kids on the internet, unsupervised children, those early 2000 things. If you remember, like at the time, they were just saying that like video games were like murder simulators, especially if you grew up with Grand Theft Auto.
If you're a parent, there are some other things that you should know that should send shivers down your spine if you hear these 3 words, Grand Theft Auto. I know that when I say this, about 80% of the people in America that hear me are going, oh, geez, here's a crazy conservative on TV screaming about the dangers of video games. But like it or not, here's the point tonight. We are training our kids to be killers, and we are training our sons to treat women like whores.
Theft auto is a world governed by the laws of depravity.
Sorry, but I need this.
See a car you like, steal it. Someone you don't like, stomp her. A cop in your way, blow him away. There are police at every turn and endless opportunities to take them down. It is 360 degrees of murder and mayhem. Slickly produced, technologically brilliant, and exceedingly violent. And now it's at the center of a civil lawsuit involving the murders of 3 men in the small town of Fayette, Alabama. They were gunned down by 18-year-old Devin Moore, who had played Grand Theft Auto day and night for months.
The video game industry gave him a cranial menu that popped up in the blink of an eye in that police station, and that menu offered him the split-second decision to kill the officers, shoot them in the head, flee in a police car, just as the game itself trained him to do.
But a lot of the times that these news stations will just play up certain angles just to get people pissed off and mad just for viewers. One example I could think of on the top of my head, it doesn't get someone mad, but it more is trying to drive up viewership. Like there was this one predator called Michael Warwicker, and he had one of the most horrific screen names.
Can I rape you anally?
Mm-hmm. This dude's chat log was wild. It was crazy. Later on, there's like another segment. They had a predator. I can't remember his actual name. Chris Hansen claims that this man has his screen name so horrific that we can't say it on television. And this guy's name was Bald Beaver Hunter. So you're telling me that you could say, can I rape you anally on national television and get ads, but you can't say Bald Beaver Hunter? All right, that just doesn't make any sense. And I remember YouTuber Walls, he was saying, oh, that's definitely for people to go to the website to try to figure out what the name is to drive more viewership. And you could see how the news plays that up. They also try to play up the fear angle, like if the guys have like guns in their car or like rope, they could be construction workers. I don't know, but no one really wants to defend these people because they're fucking weird. And you read their chat logs and you're just kind of like, yeah, throw the book at them. I got to give a shout out to Robert Pattinson, and his voice is incredible. He sounds just like him, looks just like him. And I think he's about the right age when Chris started this entire show.
That's all I've done. You see how this looks. You see how this looks. Again, you see how this looks. You see how this looks, right?
Yes, I know.
Do you see how this looks, Thomas?
Yeah, it looks bad.
But you see how that looks. Now you see how that looks.
That's not exactly
But you see how this looks.
Yeah.
You see how this looks, right?
You see how this looks. There's so many bangers that I want him to say in the movie. There's also a lot of memes coming out about the dude who shows up to the house. I don't know who that is. I thought it might have been Marvin Lacan, because it kind of looked like him a little bit, but there is one very specific thing that Marvin did. He wanted to sleep not with only the decoy, he wanted to sleep with the cat, have Cool Whip, and this dude showed up butt ass naked. You're chasing the cat around, you have Cool Whip. Marvin, you're naked. And I believe that's why they chose the name Primetime, so they could focus more on the news element and not really on the Predators, because everyone's seen that. It could have been way too easy for any studio just to recreate shot for shot what happened in the investigations. You could just YouTube it. I think people would get bored of that immediately. I know you would satisfy some fans like me of having people in there, but I do have a list. It's not a short one, but I do have a list, and I haven't written down who I want to see. Kevin Westerbeck, or better known as Kevin Molesterbeck, 4-foot dude who showed up, and also he was going to jail, and I believe he was going on the registry before doing something to a family member. Evil piece of garbage. All the people that didn't get any Snow White roles because of Peter Dinklage being a douche. Kevin Molesterbeck, you could do that one. I'm pretty sure no one's going to take that job. Lee Greer, because I just want to hear double cheeseburgers with no pickles.
Let me see your hand. Oh, Lord.
Dustin McFetridge. Oh my God. I do want to see him on the big screen. I don't know if they're even going to do any of them. They might change names. They might start combining people. They might give chat logs to different guys, or they just start making everyone up. But Dustin McFetridge, they have to do it. I don't care if they even get what's his face from Breaking Bad. If they get Flynn, Walter Jr. Also, they both have cerebral palsy and drive a purple PT Cruiser.
You see how this looks, right?
Anthony Palumbo. Anthony Palumbo.
I want to be top.
Oh, okay.
You want to do it raw?
Raw?
Yes.
What's that?
No rubber.
Put that in a refrigerator. I really just want to hear that. I'm not gay or nothing. I'm not gay or not. I can't drive. I went to Atlantic City. See this? They're not good. They just had to put like a couple of people in there. They had to put a few bangers. Oh God! I need to see Lauren in the movie. Also wearing a baseball cap, little Boston cap. It's a Boston cap. It's my repping my city. The fucking weirdo. I gotta see. Am I gonna be arrested?
Am I gonna be arrested?
But the one man I forgot to write him down is
14, and I go, but
She told you she was 14.
we were in the role-playing chat room, dude.
No, I was in the role-playing chat room, dude.
I got 2 words for NBC. Role-playing chat room, all right, y'all? Hey, NBC, 2 words, role-playing chat room, dude, because the girl was role-playing.
Role-playing chat room, dude. Role-playing chat room, dog. I got 2 words for you. Role-playing chat room, dude. Also, if you listen really closely to the audio, there's a cop in the background yelling, "That's more than 2 words."
Hey, NBC, 2 words, role-playing chat room, dude, because the girl was role-playing.
You got to get Jeff Stacy in there. Oh my God, what would be amazing? And they would win the Oscar for this. I don't know. I would vote for them if I was on the panel of judges, but they would win an Oscar if you could get maybe Tim Dillon, but he's a little too old. Maybe Shane Gillis doing Jeff Stacy. I don't care. I don't know. Check my car. The fucking Mickey Mouse guy.
It's a question.
Oh my God. John Kennelly. They have to do John Kennelly. And also John Kennelly, I believe he's the first guy to show up naked and then show up the next day at McDonald's and get caught twice. Some of these characters are just amazing, and I have to see it on the big screen. I've been in television for 24 years, and I am very seldom and at a loss for words. John, I just came get something to eat. See, I watch the show way too fucking much. Like, this is so weird. I could see that they're going for a more neurotic angle. It looks more like they're trying to show how depraved the media could be, because the whole debacle with the Murphy sting and how they went about it, it just seemed unprofessional from every single angle, from the news to the police station to the entire like district attorney. They screwed up everything, because the death of that one DA guy, it basically destroyed all the cases of every single predator, and they got off scot-free, which really goddamn sucks. But you can see that they're trying to do like weird stuff, showing that it's kind of like warping Chris Hansen's mind. That's what I see, because there's some weird fucking imagery in this trailer. Also, one of the weirdest images, Anna Faris playing his wife. That was a weird casting choice. Also seeing the guy who plays Jimmy Olsen, I thought he was going to be a predator in the movie, showing from the first trailer, but the second one actually shows him, no, he's actually one of the decoys. And it's so weird that they got such a big actor to play like a male decoy, because in the early stages, the male decoy is very rare. There were like 2 guys, but I remember him. I definitely know that the guy he's playing is, he definitely talked to Stanley, what the hell was his first name? How you doing, Stanley? Doing good?
How you doing, Stanley? Doing good?
I need to goddamn see that in the movie. I need to see that. Also, with Del Harvey, she was one of the perverted justice people. She needs to get a shout out because not only did she do the conversation, she played the little boys and the girls on the show, and she would go back and forth. There are also times where she would actually screw up and do a boy's voice, which is supposed to be a girl.
Come on in, man. I just whacked my toe on the banister. I hit my toe on the banister. And, I gotta go get a Band-Aid. Now I'm bleeding, and I'm gonna get shot if I bleed on the run.
Oh, I just stubbed my toe. I'm gonna bleed all over the carpet. If I bleed on the carpet, I'm gonna get shot. I don't go get a Band-Aid. Oh, it was so over the top. And Creed from The Office is in this movie, and he's not playing a predator.
So, hey, I want to set you up with my daughter.
Oh, I'm engaged to Pam.
I thought you were gay.
Then why would you want to set me up with your daughter?
I don't know.
Which is really astounding. I'm pretty sure no one wants to play the predator in this film. Not even Flash Thompson or tokenized Flash Thompson playing a predator. Also, all the memes are hilarious. But Creed, if I were to guess who he was playing, it would have been Hambubger. Out of everybody, it would have been him, which is amazing. Just walking up to the house like this. And you know that guy was in his 50s. That dude is like my dad's age now. Wow, that man looks like absolute shit. The one thing I have a little conundrum with is that the Murphy thing is a huge part of the show and why it got canceled. And Chris Hansen's just like, that's not why the show got canceled. There was a lot of other things. We did investigations after that. No, I believe that's why the show got canceled. And you could kind of see that, like, it's shown the depravity. Without the movie, I've been following Chris for like many, many years. And you could see this guy was kind of an asshole. You could see that with how exuberant that Robert Pattinson is portraying Chris Hansen. I've done so much research and I just been following this dude for many, many years. Yeah, he has his issues. You could tell this guy has a massive ego. With him, like with some of his little legal troubles, back in like before he started doing his takedown with Chris Hansen, his current TCAP show, he had one revival where he went on Kickstarter back in 2015. God, you remember that? Everyone had a goddamn Kickstarter back then. He would want to do another revival of the show where with certain goals you would get like mugs and t-shirts. The show got fully funded and many, many people did not get their items. People were pissed off. They felt like they were scammed. A few years later, he wrote a few bad checks in 2019 and got arrested for it. And then he also was DMCAing a bunch of people. He had like a producer with him and they were just going around just trying to take down people's videos. And they were the MSNBC ones where they were doing commentary. And probably, I think some of them were the Hansen versus Predator. Yeah, that pissed so many people off because he was just abusing the system. It has my face in it, so it's my copyright. Yeah, this dude's a journalist and he didn't look up copyright law. That is wild. Passing the torch off to, well, he didn't really pass the torch because I believe Chris Hansen doesn't really like any of these new Pred catchers because they don't involve police. They don't have police with them the entire time. Yeah, because they don't have an MSNBC budget, my guy.
Vigilante online people who, you know, will bait these guys, get them out in public and shoot them with a smoke cannon or embarrass them or, or physically abuse them. And the problem with that is, first of all, the motive, which is usually for clicks and profit. And I understand that we get paid to do a show too. But our cases are prosecuted. Most of these cases can't be prosecuted because they're so messy. There's no chain of evidence.
First Pred catch thing, I was like, I see people are doing this, but like, why is no one doing the whole like Chris Hansen thing with like wearing a blazer and like having the chat looks printed out in the binder?
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it in a different way that no one else is really doing it right now. Right. So I think that's why it kind of popped off and a lot of people resonated with the whole like TCAP thing.
And didn't he have beef with you at some point? Like, didn't he talk shit about you in an interview or something?
National television or something.
Found out, like,
yeah, national television, once on his podcast, and probably once at some other point.
Is that when he called you Paw Patrol?
Recently he called me Paw Patrol. No, he's been calling me Paw Patrol for like a few years now, I think. But
oh my God,
it happened recently again.
Wow. What's your response to him to that?
I ordered a Paw Patrol costume and I was gonna wear it for one of the future catches that we do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just gonna double down.
This is good.
I'm just gonna double down on it.
You gotta do it. Yeah,
see
you
what
have
he
to.
thinks.
What's your response to him? His perception, because he seems to look down upon other people doing this. You know.
Yeah, my response. First of all, so his whole thing is we don't work with police, right? Or it's not in collaboration directly with police. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But that's what he was doing when he first started, when the first season of To Catch a Predator.
Dateline NBC money, you can do that, but you know,
there were no police involved in the whole first season.
You're right.
Though.
You're
so
right.
he was doing the exact same thing.
Right.
I forgot about until everything got picked up, and then until he got the ball, got renewed and everything.
And then police worked with him, and then he also says, you know, he's just doing it for attention, likes, revenue, clicks, stuff like that. But he has a whole show on True Blue, which is behind a paywall.
Yeah, he's got a streaming platform now. Yeah.
Hey guys, I just wanted to pause the video for a minute. Yeah, I've been editing this video for about a week now, and a lot has happened. If you have not been on the internet for a while, there was a big documentary drop by a guy named Mike Klum about EDP 445, and I'll say amazing work, incredible production value. If you ever get a minute, please watch it, and I'll link it down below. All the proceeds go to RAIN. But I will have to say that after watching that documentary, I completely understand why Chris Hansen does not like new age pred catchers. This documentary kind of does expose it, especially when he's talking about how a lot of these guys do botch it and they come out and they look like clowns, because there are times where they come out, they do these videos, and these guys do not get prosecuted. I totally understand there are times where it's not them. Sometimes the police department won't take the case. Sometimes it's the DAs don't want to touch it, and they did everything by the book. But there are times where it's mostly people like Gideon, they get into their own way where they try to get more views, they're trying to get the clip, they're trying to get a thumbnail. He's also admitted this, he is a big clout chaser. And this mostly stems from him originally being a YouTube prankster. But I have to give massive shade to him and Skeeter. I'm a big fan of both of these guys, but they did something really, really stupid. Gideon takes a bigger blame because this all stemmed from him wanting to interview EDP on his channel, and it was going to be live streamed. And for some reason, Gideon thought it would be a good idea to actually invite EDP onto his Discord server, a guy he knows that is a pedophile, and invite him on a server full of children. He only didn't do it, or he only blocked him and kicked him off the server because this dude wants to get paid.
This man was talking to who he knew to be a 15-year-old girl, and he continued having sexual conversation, which is absolutely horrible, and EDP should be thrown under the jail cell.
Gideon was also claiming that he got into the server and then immediately got kicked out, but the immediately kicked out part took 7 hours for him to do it. And that's after he asked for like $200. And then what stemmed from that is that there is an actual child, a 15-year-old girl, I believe her name was Kayla. She claimed that she was actually talking to EDP. People are saying that this was happening during the actual stream. She was talking to him before. But him and Skeeter thought it would be a good idea to actually use this girl, and they wanted to come in and take communication over.
And in my first call with her, after I checked up on her to make sure that she was okay, I even let her know that I wanted her to be a ghost in this entire situation. And don't worry about your privacy and everything, Kayla. You're gonna be a ghost in all of this. The only people that I wanted to know that she was personally involved in this and that she had been talking to him is her parents, which I also told them.
Sure, you're aware of everything that's happening.
Yes, my daughter always communicates to me. She is, I think she considers me her best friend.
Oh, that's awesome. And B, law enforcement. I didn't want anybody else, and nor the world, to know that this minor was talking to EDP. That's why me and Skeeter wanted to take over communication.
Why would you actually use a child to be victimized in this entire situation? And that also goes for the mother, or the so-called mother that they talk to try to get, I guess, consent on this part. And it's really bizarre to see Gideon use the exact same excuses that some predators use, like, oh, we asked her if she was okay. And yeah, I have to say, the girl Kayla, she's very dumb. She looks like she's clout chasing off of this too. And I know everyone's gonna go in and defend her because she's a kid, which I totally understand. I know she's young, but that's why she's stupid. She's a kid. This is why they got into the situation, because they got rung around by an actual child trying to get money and publicity out of this.
However, rather than treating the situation seriously, Gideon saw it as content.
Now, it really does suck that Kayla sees it as all I saw was content. And truly, I mean, I didn't just see it as content. I saw it as a monster actually talking to a minor who's a fan of me. So I wanted to do everything in my power to get that man arrested. And I want her to stop being subjected to that monster, which is why I told her to block him.
I told Gideon every single time that EDP would send me dick pics, but he would never tell me to like block him or anything.
I want you to block him on your phone, right?
And I continued messaging him because it was very like encouraged for me to keep doing it. I didn't really want to, but I didn't want to disappoint anybody.
I mean, what are you gonna do from here? You're gonna like call the police? I guess.
And that is the entire reason why I want to seamlessly transition so that we could take over the communication, because we would do a way better job. And not only that, but a minor would not be talking to a predator anymore.
It just looks so inappropriate, really brain dead, and it just, it's just stupid all around. If Kayla did not want to give up the number, if she kept texting him and she just kept trying to ruin his investigation or just play games, I just would have just told the police. I don't know if it would be prosecutable in that point, but they should try to get as many screenshots or do a wellness check and see if they could get the phone taken away. There was just a million other ways they could have done this. But just from basic knowledge, why would you use an actual child to help you guys work this out? That is just the stupidest thing. And when Chris Hansen talks about the pred catchers who actually go out and physically assault the suspects, and he's talking about guys like DAP, and yes, they are awful in their investigations. Sometimes the videos are funny, they're satisfying, but it doesn't result in anything. It's these guys who have bipolar issues who are just physically attacking people, and the DA will not touch the case. And they also spoil everyone else, from like Alex Rosen to Gideon and to Skeeter. Also, Gideon and Skeet actually screwing this up. Also, Alex screwing up the first iteration of the EDP catch. They all just look really dumb all around. And it's really funny how Gideon made an expose on Dads Against Predators on how they botched the entire operation. And Gideon, he keeps trying to back off and like really not take much accountability. And he's trying to do like this friendly thing where he's like, oh, I wish Kayla the best. She's doing this and she's a really nice person.
I want to give a huge shout out to Kayla, man. I wish her nothing but the best. She is not only a med student, but she's also a law student at the same time while doing her music career. Huge shout out to her.
And he had an original stream, I believe he deleted, where he's just calling her out of her name, doing all these things, and he's like just freaking out. Gideon was also being interviewed, and he was being super dodgy with basic questions.
But the one thing we do know for certain is that you invited a pedophile into a 13+ Discord server.
Okay, so you remember this, right? If you watched that segment, if you saw me cover this like a week ago, and I released this the day, like this is the end of that VOD. You remember this?
And apparently he also set up like a Q&A, so also gave the platform for these minors to talk to the pedophile.
Did EDP ever join?
He joined your Discord, yeah.
But you set it up, didn't you?
But did EDP ever join?
The Discord, yes.
Did you set it up or not?
Did EDP ever join?
Yes. He didn't join the call, he joined the Discord.
I was waiting for him, but we never talked. He never even joined.
He joined your Discord after you invited him.
So
he never even joined the call.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning the call, because you were lying by omission if you didn't include that.
Okay.
I set up the interview, but he never joined the call.
Mm-hmm. So you invited him to the server and set up a call and a Q&A.
And that he never joined.
But he didn't. But you still invited him there.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bloodsmith guy's too stupid to clock that he's talking about the call and not the Discord filled with 130,000 people or whatever the fuck.
I'm just saying, I think that's in danger.
And again, we didn't know at the time of this. This was streamed on June 24th. We didn't know, the Teltec guy, when he reposted it, that he was in the server for 7 hours. That's actually new information for today. I didn't think it would actually get worse for Gideon, but it did.
The miners in the server.
I agree with you.
You agree that you endanger them?
Yeah, I agree. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
You're seeing this weird dichotomy where people aren't really taking responsibility or ownership of them just screwing up. And they need to fix this right now. And they need to address it correctly. I just see them dropping more and more catches. We're like, hey guys, we're cleaning up the streets. Yeah, that's fine. But why did you have an actual child working with you guys? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And right back to the video. I think that's it. I'm super excited. I really want you guys to go down below into the comments. And I want you to tell me, who do you want to see in this movie? The Predators. Which Predator do you want to see? Which segment do you want to see recreated on the big screen? I really want to see something with Dell in it, just to show how ridiculous it was, especially with the really terrible wigs. And you could see it miles away. Even some guys in their interrogation saying, I saw this girl and she had a wig on, and these idiots still walk in.
I pulled up in front of the house like she had said, and got out, and she was coming out the door, and I saw she had a wig on. I was like, this is odd. I mean, I had a little bit of suspicion before I even got there.
Also, you could see there's some Hollywood BS because Chris would never enter from upstairs. He would come around the corner because he tried to get in there as quick as possible, because if he walked down the stairs slowly, the guy would just ran out the door. Yeah, guys, that's all for me, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah.